चलिए, आपको ले चलता हूँ इस छोटे से शहर की सैर पे। कितनी शांति, कितना सुकून है यहाँ, भाग दौड़ से बिल्कुल दूर। राइट? रॉन्ग। जरा बताएंगे सबको, आप जा कर रही हैं?
इंटरनेट क्लास।
ये है इनकी इंटरनेट क्लास और ये है इस क्लास की टीचर परवीन बेगम।
मैं एक इंटरनेट साथी हूँ। मैं इन सबको इंटरनेट यूज करना सिखाती हूँ।
अच्छा, ये सब सीखने का फायदा?
कौन बताएगा? अब रेशमा। ओके गूगल, लेमन ग्रास पद्मावती इंटरनेट साथी।
ये है पद्मावती। इनके गांव में किसी ने लेमन ग्रास के बारे में सुना तक नहीं था, पर इंटरनेट की मदद से इन्होंने यहाँ लेमन ग्रास की फसल लहरा दी। आज देखिए, इनका लेमन ग्रास ऑयल एक से बढ़ के एक प्रोडक्ट्स में यूज होता है। और पद्मावती जी, आपकी इंस्पिरेशन?
परवीन गारो।
देखते ही देखते पद्मावती के जैसी कहानियों ने कई लोगों को इंस्पायर किया गजब की चीजें करने के लिए, जैसे चन्नापटना के रियाज अन्ना। ये मूर्तियां पूरी दुनिया में सिर्फ यहीं बनती हैं और इस सदियों पुरानी कला को सलामत रखने का इन्होंने एक नया तरीका सीखा, इंटरनेट। बस फिर क्या, आज ये मूर्तियां दुनिया भर में छाई हुई हैं और ऑनलाइन 4.8 स्टार्स पाना भी खुद ही में एक कला है। नहीं, वैसे कलाकार तो यहाँ एक से बढ़कर एक है और देखना चाहेंगे तो फिर चलिए। ऋतिक ऋतिक, बाप रे, ये ऋतिक बाबू भी आर्टिस्ट हैं, नेशनल लेवल मार्शल आर्टिस्ट, और ये अपने टाइक्वांडो की प्रैक्टिस करते हैं
रेलवे स्टेशन पे।
जी हाँ, रेलवे स्टेशन पे। पूछिए कैसे? पूछिए ऐसे। ऋतिक को नेशनल चैंपियन बनना,
वर्ल्ड चैंपियन,
सॉरी वर्ल्ड चैंपियन। इसलिए ये रोज यहाँ आके इंटरनेशनल खिलाड़ियों की ट्रेनिंग वीडियोस देखते हैं और ऋतिक जैसे लोगों को देख के और भी लोग इंस्पायर होते हैं। कुछ पढ़ने आते हैं, कुछ पढ़ाने, कुछ आते हैं मनोरंजन के लिए और कुछ आते हैं दुनिया बदलने। मीट गिरिजा एंड वैष्णवी, ऐप डेवलपर्स हैं जो अपने शहर के लिए एक सेफ्टी ऐप पे काम कर रहे हैं। इनकी इंस्पिरेशन?
आमेटा सेंथिल
सेंथिल कुमार, एंटरप्रेन्योर, टीचर, पर सबसे पहले एक कोडर जिन्होंने गर्भवती महिलाओं के लिए एक हेल्थ ऐप बनाया है।
In the village, it is impossible for pregnant women to go to the hospital, which is 20 kilometers away. I used code to make certain devices and apps that bring the hospital to them in this crucial time.
दरअसल ये कहानी टेक्नोलॉजी की नहीं है, ना ही इंटरनेट की। ये कहानी है सेंथिल की, ऋतिक की, रियाज की, पद्मावती की और हर उस इंडियन की जो किसी नए तरीके, किसी नई तरकीब से अपनी और दूसरों की जिंदगी बदल रहे हैं और जाने अनजाने में एक दूसरे को भी इंस्पायर कर रहे हैं, हमें इंस्पायर कर रहे हैं।
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 4th edition of Google for India. The video you just saw captures the spirit of India. With just a little inspiration, Indians are able to do incredible things, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. We saw that spirit in action over the last few weeks. I want to take a moment to express our solidarity with the people of Kerala and Karnataka. Over 300 people lost their lives, and lakhs are today in rescue and relief camps. It will take months to recover and rebuild the lives of those impacted. What has been heartening to see is how everyone, from individual volunteers, NGOs, Kerala's fishermen, and the defense forces have contributed to the rescue and relief efforts in Kerala and Karnataka. Thanks to technology, we also saw all of India rally behind these efforts. On our part, our crisis response team launched a series of measures to provide help and assistance to those affected. We activated SOS alerts on Google Search, which captured all emergency resources and response numbers in English and Malayalam. We also activated Person Finder in English and Malayalam to help people search and track family and friends. On last count, there were 22,000 records in Person Finder. We also extended this information on Google Maps to aid rescue efforts. On Google Tez, we launched a donation drive towards the Chief Minister Relief Fund, and so far, over 2.7 lakh people have contributed to this fund. We do realize the tough part begins now, of rehabilitation and rebuilding the lives of people in Kerala and Kodagu. And towards that, I would like to announce that Google.org and Googlers are contributing $1 million to support the relief and recovery efforts. We're also looking at ways we can help mitigate the impact of floods in the future. And we'll have more on that in a few minutes. We hope all these efforts will add up to help people in Kerala and Kodagu deal with this unfortunate event. Now, let's move to the agenda for the day. It's an incredibly exciting and inspiring time to be in India. There's a paradigm shift in India's internet, a shift that has inspired the emergence of New India. For a very long time, India's internet was defined by the 3 M's. The internet in India was about a metro phenomenon, the first M, dominated by male users, the second M, and millennials were the most active user group online. So the 3 M's. Various industry reports estimate that India has over 450 million total internet users, with 390 million of them active on a 30-day basis. There has been a 4x growth in rural internet users. And adoption of the internet by women has gathered significant momentum. And 45% of internet users in India will be women in the next 3 years. India's data usage on mobile is now on par with developed markets at 8 gigabytes per month per user. Online transacting users has also grown rapidly and today stands at 160 million. And now it's not just low data costs. Affordable entry-level smartphones have also gotten much better. 70% of smartphone shipments in India have over 2 gigabytes of RAM. This number was only 6% in 2014. Approximately 80% of smartphone shipments have over 16 gigabytes of storage. This number was less than 0.2% in 2014. And now there's also a sizable number of users who are connecting to the internet on feature phones. These highly engaged users are redefining India's internet. I want to share the 3 big themes that captures the behavior of this new internet India, the next internet in India: voice, video, and vernacular. Let's start with voice. Voice is emerging as the preferred mode of input for new internet users. We're seeing 270% year-on-year growth in voice searches in India. Voice is the new black in India. Video. Online video is now mainstream and accounts for 75% of all mobile data traffic in India. YouTube today reaches 245 million monthly active users in India. Vernacular. A majority of internet users today are Indian language users, and this number is expected to reach 500 million over the next 2 years. Lack of local language content is a big barrier, so it's not surprise that video is driving almost all the engagement on the Indian internet today. 95% of video consumption in India today is in vernacular languages. As these new users gain digital maturity and confidence to transact online, there's a huge opportunity waiting to be unlocked. Every day, we are hearing inspiring stories of users and entrepreneurs who are overcoming different challenges to gain from the internet. This is our vision in India, bringing the internet alive for everyone in India. And in the last 3 years, we've made tremendous progress towards this vision. Internet Saathi, our project with Tata Trusts that focuses on empowering women through digital literacy in rural India, is today spread across 18 states. Till date, we have enrolled 50,000 full-time Internet Saathis working across 200,000 villages, and they have helped over 20 million women learn to use the internet. And it's incredible to see that over half of the women trained under this program are using the internet to learn new skills. Indian languages. We have also been hard at work to help Indian language users navigate the web more easily in their own local languages. Today, all our leading products support the top 8 Indian languages. Gboard today is the only keyboard in the world to support 50 Indian languages. And more importantly, we have enabled voice input in 8 of the most popular Indian languages. We have also introduced advertising tools that support Indian languages. And this, as all of you know, is critical to ensure that the Indian content ecosystem continues to grow. Currently, we support ads in Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, and Telugu. Digital skills and mentoring. The other big focus area for us has been to help businesses, small businesses especially, developers and startups, learn the skills required to succeed in this fast-growing digital economy. Over 260,000 individuals and small businesses have benefited from our Digital Unlocked program. We have engaged over 1 million students and developers on new skills in areas like mobile, cloud, and artificial intelligence. For startups, just last month, we announced Launchpad Accelerator program in India that will focus on growing the AI and ML ecosystem in India and support Indian startups that are solving for India. And I'm very excited to announce the first batch under this program. These 10 startups will get 3 months of extensive mentoring from the absolute best engineers, the best product managers, the best digital marketers from Google. I think we should congratulate these 10 startups. Let's give them a big round of applause. And we will continue to invest in ecosystem initiatives. But we're doing a lot more than that, as you know, which is why all of you are here. Under our Next Billion Users strategy, we have made significant investments in building many solutions that cater to the needs of Indian users. And these solutions and learnings are helping us improve our products, not just for India, but for the entire world. And you'll hear more about that today. Through the course of the day, you will hear from different product leaders of Google on how we are continuing to build and solve for the needs of Indian users. Now it's my pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Anita Vijaykumar, who will talk about how machine learning and artificial intelligence can make a big difference in solving for the real needs of India. Before she gets on stage, let's take a look at a video of an incredibly interesting Indian startup, also actually in the Google Launchpad Accelerator, Nebula, who is solving for a true need that we have in India. Thank you and welcome.
For a country like India, where the farms are very small, the farmers are highly diverse and they are not educated about farming techniques, it is very important that we use AI to improve this. We started Nebula 3 years back with an aim to provide fair pricing to the farmers. MAT is an innovative product of Nebula that uses artificial intelligence to provide quality results of a grain within 1 minute. Just put the sample of commodity in MAT and within 1 minute, it will give you entire analysis of the product, including various categories like 1000 count weight, fungal damage, infested, weevil, which makes a fair amount of sense to all the entities.
ఇంత ముందుకు ఏమవుతుందంటే అంటే ఛాంపిల్స్ చేత్తోన చూసి దాన్ని ఏ విధంగా సరిగా మట్టి పిల్లలు అవి ఉన్నా సరే అట్లే టెండర్లు వేస్తుండే. ఇప్పుడు ఒక మ్యాట్ అని ఒక కొత్త మిషన్ వచ్చింది. అవి ఒక 200 గ్రాములు దాంట్లో మిషన్లో వేస్తే అది చెత్త ఎంత ఉంది, మట్టి పిల్లలు ఎంత ఉన్నవి, అవి మొత్తం వేరు మనకు గిట్టుబాటు ధర బాగా వస్తుంది. ఇంతకుముందు కంటే ఇప్పుడు 10 రకాలుగా అయినా దీన్ని ఆలోచన చేసుకుంటే ఇదే చాలా బాగుంటుంది.
MAT and other AI-based products are the future and real problem solvers for India. If given the right push and encouragement, Indian innovators can make a global impact and change the world.
Hello everyone. Good morning. I'm Anita Vijay Kumar, Technical Project Manager for TensorFlow, which is Google's machine learning platform. I'm originally from Bangalore, and I've lived there most of my life, and so it's extremely special and really exciting to be here with all of you today. I've been at Google for over 6 years and spent some time with the cloud organization, and most recently with AI and machine learning. It is an incredible time for the field of artificial intelligence. AI is helping solve problems for Google's users through its products, which you will hear about more in the coming talks. We are also seeing AI help solve problems for the world, from advancing scientific discovery to helping doctors diagnose diseases. We think AI will have the greatest benefit when it is designed with everyone's interests in mind. But before we go into the details of what can be done with AI, let's talk about what is AI. You must have heard a lot about the terms artificial intelligence and machine learning interchangeably. AI is the science and engineering of making machines smart. This field of artificial intelligence is not actually really new. A lot of the ideas and innovations that you hear today originated in the 1980s. It's only recently that we've had really powerful machines and large enough data sets to make major breakthroughs, which is powered by a special AI technique called as machine learning. In its most basic sense, machine learning is a new approach to creating computer systems where we teach computers to learn from data. In the past, we created precise step-by-step instructions for a computer to follow and complete a given task. This worked really well in many tasks, in many areas, but it was not able to solve much bigger and complex problems where rule-based instructions were found to be limiting. So in machine learning, we teach a computer to perform a task by showing it lots and lots of examples, just like we would teach a child. Take, for example, recognizing the image of an animal like a cat or a dog. To do that, we train the machine learning system by feeding it images labeled either a cat or a dog. Over a period of time, the computer systems learns to recognize patterns in these images, and by being trained, it starts to understand the difference between these patterns, and we can test the system by providing it completely new examples which it has never seen before. It seems simple, but the ability to learn from data has huge implications, and the problems that we can solve with this technology is really amazing. So one example, unfortunately, is more timely than ever. Sadly, we've seen the terrible devastation of floods in Kerala and in my home state of Karnataka. Many of us have had loved ones affected, and I know I myself have been in close touch with friends and family, hoping that they stay safe. Rajan mentioned the efforts that Google is undertaking to help the people of Kerala rebuild their lives. And for the past year and a half, we've been working really hard on research and using AI to forecast and reduce the impact of floods. Floods are the most common natural disaster on the planet. They affect up to 250 million people, causes thousands of people fatalities, and inflicts billions of dollars of economic damage every single year. The most affected countries are India, China, and Bangladesh, where 75% of all the flood-related fatalities occurs in these regions. Here in India, monsoons often cause the mighty rivers like the Ganges, Brahma, and the Brahmaputra and the Yamuna to swell and flood the adjoining areas. Early warning systems can help, but these most affected countries often lack good warning systems, which means people who need it the most have the least access to information. We wondered if AI could deliver more accurate warnings at scale, particularly in some places in India. And so we've been developing a system that combines the natural physics-based modeling along with AI for early and accurate flood warnings. Right now, many warning systems can just tell you a broad region on where it can get flooded. And by using Google's elevation and satellite map data, our systems can predict more accurately on which areas are dangerous and prone to flooding. We have partnered with the Ministry of Water Resources to launch a pilot flood forecasting system in Patna, an area that has historically been badly impacted by flooding. Our initial results are promising, and eventually, maybe one day we will be able to give longer lead times to people, helping them seek safety sooner. As this week has shown us, floods can have a terrible impact. In the coming months, we hope to extend this pilot to many other parts in India. We are also really excited to be supporting the nonprofit Seeds work in flood preparedness, early warning, and responses. We are exploring how we can make this prediction data available and useful to people living in rural areas where there is sparsely connected networks. Our hope is we can continue this work with partners and expand it to all over the world, ultimately saving many lives. Another area where AI can have a tremendous impact is in healthcare. Let's take a look at this video.
I think there is a profound revolution going on with this new generation of machine learning, and we can see more of it. It's almost an enhancement on our ability to sense the world.
So researchers in the healthcare community were looking at some of the work that Google was doing in artificial intelligence and actually reached out to us and said, is there a way that you could apply these same kind of technologies in healthcare?
We now have a tremendous opportunity to use machine learning to really augment the ability of doctors.
There's a lot of questions that we're beginning to realize might actually be possible that weren't possible before.
I think this is how we're going to find new discoveries. This is how we're going to find ways to take care of more people.
You could see this little hint of what the future is going to be like.
There's so much amazing work going on in this space, and I want to talk about one project in particular that's solving problems on the ground in India. Over the past few years, our researchers have wondered and are exploring how AI can help doctors diagnose and screen for diabetic retinopathy. More than 400 million people in the world are prone to diabetes, and 80 million of them are right here in India. A third of the people with diabetes are bound to have diabetic retinopathy, making it the leading cause for preventable blindness in the world. My mother-in-law is an ophthalmologist, and so this is a little personal, and I've spent some time supporting her work to diagnose eye diseases in women from low-income backgrounds. Many people don't even know they have diabetic retinopathy because there's such a huge shortage of eye specialists to diagnose it. In India, for example, there's a shortage of at least 100,000 eye doctors, and nearly 45% of the patients suffer a complete vision loss before the diagnosis. This disease is highly preventable, and in an ideal world, nobody should have a vision loss because of this disease. We wondered if AI can help here. We've seen really promising results, and our systems detect diabetic retinopathy on par with retinal specialists. Google and our partners at Verily, another Alphabet company, have been partnering with local companies like Arvind Eye Hospital and Shankara Netralaya, and we've concluded studies at both these hospitals and trying to scale this to a larger primary care and diabetic clinics. Now I want to bring my colleague and friend Sunny from the Verily Systems to show you a demo of how this product actually works.
Thank you, Anita. Hello, everyone.
My name is Sunny Virmani, and I'm a product manager at Verity Life Sciences, working on the diabetic retinopathy project. Today, I'm going to show you a quick demo of how AI can help doctors screen for diabetic retinopathy. Every diabetic patient needs to get screened at least once a year. This is done with a simple camera. It's a special camera that takes a picture of the back of your eye, or as you know, retina. These cameras can be placed at primary care physician clinics or even eye clinics, and the pictures can be taken by the medical staff, just like you see in the slide. The medical staff can then upload the retinal image using an interface similar to what you see on the screen here. Our AI system then analyzes the image and grades it for diabetic retinopathy and diabetic macular edema, just as an eye specialist would do. So I'm going to show you a case here, and this is an image that's been already graded to have severe diabetic retinopathy and diabetic macular edema by one of our partner physicians, Dr. Kim from Arvind Eye Hospital. I'm going to quickly just upload an image and see what the algorithm says. Now, if the result is moderate diabetic retinopathy or above, the doctor who is screening the patient should recommend that the patient see an eye specialist. As you can see, that our algorithm has confirmed very quickly that this patient has severe diabetic retinopathy and also has diabetic macular edema, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen here. Both the results are shown right here. So this patient really needs to go see an eye specialist immediately. So we think this is a very simple, fast tool, which is very impactful and can help with screening of diabetic retinopathy and prevent blindness. And I would also like to thank Dr. Kim and Dr. Raman from Arvind Eye Hospital and Sankara Nethralaya, who are in the audience today, who tremendously helped us to get to where we are today. Thank you so much for listening. Back to Anita.
Thank you, Sunny. We are really excited by the progress, but this is just the beginning. We think there's a huge promise for extending the reach and impact of doctors and helping patients in need. AI cannot solve every problem, but as you have seen today, it has tremendous potential to impact the world across many different domains. There are so many more areas that we didn't touch upon today. Other speakers will talk to you about how AI is making Google's products like Map, Search, and Assistant be more useful to our users. There are so many amazing stories that people have done using TensorFlow outside of Google, like tracking deforestation in the Amazon rainforest and even saving cassava crops in Tanzania. Working together, we believe that we can use AI to solve problems for everyone around the world and also in India. And now I'd like to hand it over to Shashi and Ken, who will talk more about how they're bringing the magic of Google Search to India. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks, Anita. I'm really pleased to be here for the second time to talk to you all about how search has been inspired to do a lot more for the Indian audience. We have been busy focusing on everyday needs, such as Bollywood and cricket, as well as more serious topics like finding a job or taking an entrance exam. Indians are coming to search more and more for answers on topics that they care about. I'm really happy to tell you that just in the last 12 months, 50% more Indians are using mobile search every single day. But there's a lot more to do. For search to be truly helpful, it should bring you relevant results in all the languages that you care about. When you search in English today, Google seeks through billions of documents on the web to find an answer to the question that you asked. But try searching in an Indian language, and the pool of documents is a tiny fraction. It's just 1% of what's available in English. And for many, the web is like a gigantic digital library, but with just one shelf of books in the language they speak. And although we are just getting started, we are delighted to show you all that we are doing to make search a lot more welcoming and a lot more useful for all of you in India. It's a three-part process. The first is about filling the digital content in the web with Indian sources. The second is about smartly serving relevant content in all the languages that our users speak. And lastly, it's about empowering everyone to keep on learning. So first, to talk about how we are filling the digital library of the web, let us show you how we are working with Indian publishers. I would like to invite on stage Ken and Shekhar to tell you more. Welcome, Ken, and welcome, Shekhar.
Thank you. Thank you, Shashi. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ken. Now, Shashi just mentioned that we don't have a lot of Indian language content online. But did you know there are 135,000 newspapers and magazines in India that don't have websites today? That's about 90% of government-registered newspapers and magazines in India. And many of their contents are in Indic language content. So why are they still offline? Why don't they have websites today? In a nutshell, from bringing to print to web, it's just really hard today. So here's the situation. Most of these offline publishers print their materials eventually from some form of electronic document, like PDF file. So why don't we just copy-paste from PDF to print web pages and boom, you're done? Well, only if life were that easy, especially for Indic language content. If you try just that, the result will look like this. Non-Unicode Indic language font gets gobbled, images are gone, and layout is lost. Now, even if you've made it work somehow, don't forget, you have to get your domain, find service to host it, pay for it, maintain it, and all that jazz. So again, in a nutshell, it's really hard to do this, bringing from print to web online by yourselves. That's why we're excited to announce Project Navlekha, meaning a new way to write. Project Navlekha is a program to empower every newspaper magazines offline to bring their content online. Now, to the best part of that, let me introduce Shekhar. And would you mind would you care to show this, how this works?
Sure, Ken.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Super happy to be here today. So Ken, what we're going to do is try to attempt to take the same PDF that you showed from print to web using the Navlekha tool. But because this is Google for India, I thought, why don't we do this in, let's say, under 60 seconds?
From print to web in 60 seconds. Sounds great, Shekhar.
All right, audience, you got to help me, okay? Ken, I'm ready to go when you are.
All right, got the clock set going. Ready, set, go.
All right, when I hit process, what Google is doing is applying machine learning to this page to extract text that we can then copy into any web page of our choice. Once it's done here, we'll be ready to actually continue. So we're just waiting for it. There we go. So now what we can do is literally drag and drop across the text that I want. And you can see here that we're copying all of the text in exactly this form. This article, Ken, actually talks about stamps and how birds have made it into the Indian Postal Service. It's actually a really interesting read. All right, Ken, I'm done with the text. How much time do we have?
A little over 30 seconds.
All right, you talked about images. Let's actually get some images in there. Here's image number 1, paste it in there, and then let's go ahead down here and paste image number 2. All right, Ken, how much time do I have?
About 20 seconds to go.
Okay, you saw that this one font didn't get picked up properly, so let's actually go ahead and fix that font. I'm done there. I can now preview the document and make sure it's actually looking good. You can do it on desktop, mobile, or tablet. And once I see it's good, I can publish it. And how much time? 55, 57.
And boom! All right. Okay. Print to web in 59 seconds. That's just to make sure we can see this on our real phone here. And you can see that image thumbnail right there. When you click it, boom, this is just the article he just posted live using the system we have right here. Awesome. All right, let's get back to the slides. So you can actually look at this page right now on your phone by typing this URL. This is not a choreographed, pre-recorded thing here. It's actually see it right there. Okay, so now Project Navlekha, to remind you, will empower every publisher, large and small, to bring their content online by instantly creating mobile web pages, hosting free online with your branded domain, and offer AdSense support so you can monetize the content online. We've already started onboarding publishers across Delhi, and we'll soon be opening up to publishers across India to sign up. So for more information, please go be sure to check out this URL right here. And thank you very much. And back to you, Shashi.
All right. Thanks, Ken, and thanks, Shekhar. That was really awesome. And that gives you a glimpse of what we are doing to bring more Indian content to the web. Now, I would like to show you how you can stay on top of it all and smartly get all the content that matters to you in the languages that you speak and care about. We launched the feed last year in the Google app as a way to discover, explore, and find topics related to interests that you care about. The feed is a stream of content that understands your interests based on your activities on different Google services and suggests related material that you might otherwise not discover. So if I open the Google app, my feed is full of things that I care about, like new articles on AI, recipe suggestions for Indianized cocktails, and important news that I care about. The feed is personalized for the user, and in this case for me. So my feed is expected to be very different from what you would expect to see. Indians love the feed so much that I'm really happy to tell you we have seen 100% growth in India compared to last year. But we want to do more for you. We know that Indians prefer to read and speak in multiple languages. And today we are pleased to announce a major update to the Google feed, a bilingual feed. So now you can see all of your favorite topics covered by quality sources in both English and in Hindi. So here's where the Google magic comes in. Google will automatically detect the languages that you care about and serve you the best material from across the web in your languages. So with the power of AI, it even gets better the more you use it. For example, in my feed, I can see fresh perspectives from the Amar Ujala on what's happening in Lucknow, and it's something I can discuss with my in-laws. And this content resides right next to AI content and more articles about the difficult situation in Kerala. And the upcoming wedding of my favorite actress, Priyanka Chopra, and I'm sure that's a favorite for many of you. And the upcoming movie, Super 30, which, like many other IITians, I'm really looking forward to. So we are rolling this new bilingual Hindi-English feed to the Google app today. And this will also be available in Bengali, Marathi, Telugu, and Tamil in a few weeks of time. So last year, right here at this stage, we launched Google Go, which was a new app which was expected to make searching a lot easier for first-time smartphone users. When you're a first-time internet user and a first-time smartphone user, discovering the internet can be a bit daunting. So Google Go was built on a tap more and type less principle. There are great features like shortcuts for your favorite websites as well as apps, easy language switching capabilities, and chips to make it super easy for you to discover the best of what the web has to offer. Today, we are really excited to announce some cool new updates, again designed India first. So first, we know that many Google Go users have been awaiting the feed in the Google Go app. So I'm really pleased to announce that the bilingual feed is going to come to Google Go as well in the coming months. And second, we know that serving content is not just about getting languages right. It's also about making information a lot easier to absorb. I'm very excited to share with you a brand new feature in Google Go that makes using the web truly effortless. So today, you can simply pull up a web page in Google Go and listen to it. And to tell you more about this, I would like to invite on stage Ankita, who is the product manager in Search. Welcome, Ankita.
Thanks, Shashi. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to share this brand new launch with you. We think it's going to change the way you consume the internet. So the story behind the launch is that when we came to India to do research for Google Go, We found that listening to music and watching videos was just a big part of what people do on their smartphones. I mean, don't you? And we wanted to bring that same simplicity of listening to web pages as well. Especially for those coming online, scanning long lines of text on a small device can be really frustrating. But now with Google Go, you can just press play and follow along. Let's check it out. So it was Rakhi 2 days ago, and many of us celebrated it. I wanted to look for stories behind Rakhi. So I searched for Raksha Bandhan ki kahani. I wanted to get stories in Hindi. So I type that. I go to an article I like. And all I have to do is press play.
राखी स्टोरीज इस तरह शुरू हुआ रक्षा बंधन का त्योहार। ये हैं 5 पौराणिक रोचक कथाएं। इसे नवभारत टाइम्स ने प्रकाशित किया है।
As you can see, yeah, it's amazing, right? As you can see, as the page is being read out loud, each word gets highlighted in real time. So it's really easy to follow along. I can also change the speed right here to make it go faster or slower. And I can scroll the page and tap on any paragraph to either skip content or replay previous content. So whether you're like me and just find it so much easier to listen to content rather than read it in Hindi, or if you're trying to improve your English, or really you just want to go hands-free, this product is going to be perfect for you. We are very excited about all the content this will unlock for people, and hope you love the feature as much as we do. Thanks. Back to you, Shashi.
Thank you, Ankita. That was really fantastic. And all of this is made possible by Google's continued investment in AI, which helps Google Go identify the right parts of the page to highlight and speak out, as well as, and can you believe this? That was not a human voice, that was a machine-generated voice, speaking so naturally back to you. And this works smoothly, even in 2G connections. So today, this feature supports playback in English, as well as Hindi, Marathi, Malayalam, Telugu, and Tamil. So be sure to download the app on the Play Store and be the first one to make Google speak to you. As we find new and smarter ways to serve you content in multiple languages, we also strive to empower Indians to keep on learning. People come to Google every single day to learn new things, including improving their language skills. In fact, 1 out of 35 searches every day from India is for the definition of a word. We realized that coming to Google with an unknown word didn't always help. One of our Indian users put the problem to us very clearly when she told us, I come to Google looking for the meaning of one word that I don't know, and now I don't know 20 new words. So to be more helpful, we are working on a set of new features on search to make understanding, hearing, and even practicing to speak English a lot easier. So now when you look up words on Google, you will get the definition in both English and in Hindi. So let's say you're looking for the meaning of the word curious on search. You will see descriptions in English and Hindi, as well as example sentences in both languages using the new word. You can also hear the new word being spoken out aloud.
Curious.
And you can listen to each example sentence.
He was curious to know how the machine worked.
So try this today and learn some new words, and check back with us again in the coming weeks for definitions in Marathi and Tamil as well. But let's say you want to go one more step further, and you want to learn how to pronounce these words. So while we are in the early stages on this, I want to show you a sneak preview of something we are working on. So for example, let me try and practice a word that I'm told I always mispronounce. Entrepreneur. So there you go. With the power of AI, Google can rate my attempt and identify exactly where my pronunciation problems are. It's not too bad. Not too bad, but I think I'm still needing to improve in some parts of this. I think I should be saying more of pro and not pro. But let's see how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, okay. As they say, practice makes one perfect. And after this update, it should be as easy as searching on Google. So to finally recap some of the things we are working on in search, we want to fill the web with more content from Indian sources. We want to make it easy for you to find relevant content in your languages. And finally, we want to empower you to keep on learning. And this is just the start of what we are doing in search to make the product a lot more fun and a lot more useful for Indians. And it's going to take time. And while Shekhar made it look really fast, it's still going to take time. But I'm looking forward to the day when the digital library of the web is filled with a lot more content in all of our languages. So thank you for your attention. And I would like to invite on stage Pravir to tell you a lot more about what the assistant has been up to. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pravir Gupta, Senior Director of Engineering and founding member of the Google Assistant team. I'm originally from India, and I transit via Delhi every year on my way to see my parents in Lucknow. So it's great to be here in Delhi with all of you today to talk about the Google Assistant. The Google Assistant is your own personal Google. It's always there, ready to help and simplify your life using voice, something that comes naturally to many of us. Our mission is to help everyone find the information they need and streamline everyday tasks they do, no matter who you are, which language you speak, what device you use, and where you spend your time. We want to make everyday life a little bit easier for you. Since we announced the Google Assistant for India, we have doubled down on localizing the assistant for Indians, keeping in mind the diversity, everyday needs, and preferences of our Indian users. And the response has been phenomenal. We have learned that India loves Google Assistant. In fact, since last year, Google Assistant usage in India has tripled. Yes, you can use the Assistant to get directions, enjoy entertainment, and manage your day. But we have also learned that we Indians look to the Assistant for much more. In fact, we have seen this year, people turn to the Assistant as their cricket buddy over 100,000 times, asking things like these: what's your cricket predictions or cricket plans? And we Indians have made more than 1 million requests to the Assistant to sing happy birthday. We have seen great progress, but we are just getting started in building an Assistant that is geared towards our Indian users. Now, in order to create an Assistant for India, we need an Assistant that is accessible to Indians everywhere. And for that to be possible, we need an Assistant that can understand the languages that our Indian users speak. Today, we are excited to announce that in addition to English and Hindi, the Assistant is now available in Marathi. And we are working on making it available in 7 other Indian languages. Let me just show you a demo in Marathi. Okay, Google. तुझा जिवलग मित्र कोण आहे?
माझ्याबरोबर गोवा ट्रिप प्लॅन केल्यावर 4-5दा ती ट्रिप कॅन्सल करूनही शेवटी मला गोव्याला घेऊन जातीलच, तेच माझे खरे जिवलग मित्र मैत्रिणी.
Currently, the Assistant works in your device language, but we have learned that most Indian phones are set to English during the time of setup. But very soon, across all devices, you will be able to talk to the Assistant in your preferred language simply by saying, okay, Google, talk to me in Hindi, even if your phone is set to a different language. But that is not all. We want to take it one step further. We know that many Indians, including me, communicate and speak in multiple languages. So with the power of machine learning, the Assistant will now be automatically able to understand when users speak in different languages. Have a look at how this will work. Okay, Google, tell me a tongue twister.
She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are surely seashells. So if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells.
Okay, that was hard. Now let's try one in Hindi. Okay, Google, क्या आप ये बोल सकते हैं? कच्चा पापड़, पक्का पापड़.
कच्चा पापड़ पक्का पापड़। मैं ये भी बोल सकती हूँ, चंदू के चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को चांदनी चौक में चांदी की चम्मच से चटनी चटाई।
Okay, that's even harder. As you just saw, I spoke to the assistant in English and then in Hindi, and the assistant was automatically able to understand the language and respond accordingly. In my home, I often communicate with my family in both English and Hindi. So personally, I'm very excited about this feature that lets me use the assistant in a more natural way. Now, supporting multiple languages isn't all, though. To deliver on our mission of Assistant for all of India, we need to ensure that we meet our users wherever they are, at home or on the go. To meet our users at home, we launched Google Home for India back in April. And since then, we have seen great momentum. Users are already enjoying listening to music and news. And very soon, you will be able to talk to Google Home in Hindi as well. So let's try it out. Okay, Google, कुछ गाने चला दो.
जरूर, ये लीजिए गूगल प्ले म्यूजिक पर संगीत.
बन जा तू मेरी रानी, तेनू महल दवा दूंगा. बन मेरी महबूबा, मैं
I like this song,
ताज पवा दूं.
but we can listen to it all day, but let's move on. And to support our users on the go, we are advancing the assistant capabilities on devices that are in most Indians' pockets. Not just the latest Android and iOS devices, but also more affordable devices like Android Go and feature phones. And as we are evolving the assistant to better fit our Indian users' needs, we are teaming up with partners all over India to build powerful integrations using Actions on Google that allows you to use the services that India loves without having to install anything new on their phone, saving users precious phone memory. All you have to do is talk to the assistant. I want to show you some examples. Now, traveling by train has played a pivotal role in the lives of millions of commuting Indians. Whether you're leaving for a destination or planning to pick up a loved one, there's always anxiety in knowing the real-time location of the train, especially with heavy rains during the monsoon season. Let me show you how we are working with Where is My Train to find a solution to this using the Google Assistant. After Google for India, I'm traveling to Agra to see the Taj Mahal. So let's find out the status of my train. Okay, Google, where is my train to locate 12138?
Train 12138 is at Firozpur Cant Junction. It will reach Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus by August 30th, 7:35 a.m. That is 2 days from now. Do you want to know when it will reach other destinations like Agra Cant and Dholpur Junction?
What time will my train reach New Delhi?
Train 12138 will reach New Delhi by tomorrow 5 a.m. That is a day from now. Have a nice day.
So as you saw there, I was able to use the Google Assistant to tell me the location of my train just by using my voice. Moreover, Actions on Google will work both in English and in Hindi, giving our partners an option to build experiences in Hindi. For example, with many Indians looking at enhancing their skills to get jobs, we know that language learning can be essential. Hence, our partner, Hello English, created lessons in Hindi such that users can learn English with the help of the assistant. Have a look. Okay, Google, Hello English से connect करो.
हेलो इंग्लिश पर आपका स्वागत है. मैं मधु शर्मा हूं, आपकी अंग्रेजी की अध्यापिका. मेरे पास आपको अंग्रेजी सिखाने के लिए कुछ पाठ हैं. तो आप इनमें से शुरुआत करने के लिए एक नंबर चुनिए. बताइए आप किस पाठ से शुरुआत करना चाहते हैं.
पहला.
स्वागत है आपका हेलो इंग्लिश के पहले लेसन पर. इस लेसन में हम किसी को अपना नाम बताना सीखेंगे. पहला प्रश्न आपके लिए. मेरा नाम पूजा है का अनुवाद है माय नेम इज पूजा. क्या ये सही है?
हाँ.
सही जवाब.
Okay, let's look at another example of an action that we are bringing to the assistant with the help of Airtel. I usually forget when my mobile data pack is expiring, or I end up blowing up my balance if I'm not careful with the usage. What if the assistant could help me? As you can see in this screen, when I open up Google Assistant, it proactively tells me to check my plan expiry and the data balance. This happens when your plan is about to expire. With a simple swipe up, in the personal updates area, we can see that the plan is expiring in 2 days. I also see a suggestion chip to check my plan details. And I can see what plan I'm currently on. Now let's see how much data do I have left for the day. If I have a lot of data left, then I can binge watch on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll have to be careful with my usage over the next few days. Okay, Google, what is my data balance? I have enough to catch up on my favorite show. And given that my plan is expiring in 2 days, I can also easily recharge whenever I want. This is just one more example of how the assistant is able to make a routine experience a little bit easier for you. The Google Assistant supports over 1 million actions globally and thousands of actions specific to India. These were just a handful of new integrations that can be enabled using Actions on Google, but sky is the limit in terms of experiences that this platform can enable. The best part of this is that anyone can build an action for India. You can get started with templates and build an action under 15 minutes. No code required. And as of today, this is possible in both English and in Hindi. You can learn more about this and participate in our India build to check my plan details. And I can see what plan I'm currently on. Now let's see how much data do I have left for the day. If I have a lot of data left, then I can binge watch on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll have to be careful with my usage over the next few days. Okay, Google, what is my data balance? I have enough to catch up on my favorite show. And given that my plan is expiring in 2 days, I can also easily recharge whenever I want. This is just one more example of how the assistant is able to make a routine experience a little bit easier for you. The Google Assistant supports over 1 million actions globally and thousands of actions specific to India. These were just a handful of new integrations that can be enabled using Actions on Google, but sky is the limit in terms of experiences that this platform can enable. The best part of this is that anyone can build an action for India. You can get started with templates and build an action under 15 minutes. No code required. And as of today, this is possible in both English and in Hindi. You can learn more about this and participate in our India Builds Action campaign. I'm very excited to see what the community will do with the platform. We are so grateful to be able to share these assistant announcements with you today. We are just getting started and
Good morning. I'm Gayatri Rajan, VP of Google Maps, and I'm delighted to be back in India after so many years away. And what better occasion than our 10th anniversary of Google Maps in India. Thank you. Looks like Google Maps has friends in the audience. 10 years ago, we set out with an ambitious goal to provide Indians with the most comprehensive, accurate, and useful digital map of the world. And we knew it wasn't going to be easy. India, with its vast geography, its diverse needs and pace of change, inspired us to reimagine how we build maps in very significant ways. So let me give you an example. Our approach to map making in most of the world combined data from users, third parties, and operators. But in a country that's changing as quickly as India, we needed a new approach. So we used machine learning to recognize information from satellite images and add them to the map. You can see here how the map of Delhi has evolved over the last few years. In 2018, we've added more than 50 million buildings to Google Maps in India. That's just 1 year. Thank you. This would have taken years with the traditional techniques. Our mission for Google Maps is to serve the needs of everyone. And when it comes to travel, we recognized that we needed to support the many different modes of travel in India. To serve the needs of millions of two-wheeler riders, we launched two-wheeler navigation right here in Delhi last year. And in less than a year, 20 million people are using two-wheeler navigation every month in India. And we're not stopping here. We're committed to making travel convenient and stress-free for Indians who take public transport. And here are a few ways how. Google Maps already provides schedules to more than 10,000 long-distance trains across the country. And today, we're enhancing the experience on intercity buses by partnering with Redbus, India's leading private bus aggregator. People can now plan across 20,000 routes in more than 100,000 cities using Google Maps. And in addition, over the next 2 weeks, we're launching voice navigation for public transport journeys, both in English as well as in Hindi. And we'll also alert you when to get off. But let's check out a bus journey to Lajpat Nagar.
आप लाजपत नगर के रास्ते में हैं। आप सुबह के 10:11 तक पहुंचेंगे। 13 मिनट पैदल चलकर धौला कुआं सत्या निकेतन तक जाएं। आप 392 से जाएंगे, जो 34 मिनट में जाने वाली है। 392 से सेक्टर 62 तक जाएं। 18 स्टॉप तक 392 पर ही रहें। अगले स्टॉप पर लाजपत नगर पर उतरें। आप लाजपत नगर पर पहुंच चुके हैं।
Wow, I wish I had these alerts back. Back when I used to use the BEST bus in Mumbai, I was never able to make the stop. I was always chatting or napping. My mother was never amused at that. India has pushed us to think about serving a rapidly digitizing country and bring Google Maps to all the devices that Indians use. So last year, we launched Maps Go, a lightweight maps app specially designed to work on low-cost phones with less than a gig RAM. And the user adoption has exceeded even our expectations. As we've expanded coverage to low-end smartphones and feature phones, we've seen usage grow across India. And what's really heartening to see is that 10 years ago, all you would have seen is the top 4 cities on this map. And now you can see that the entire country has lit up, including smaller cities and towns. And today, we're launching the most loved feature of Google Maps in Maps Go, turn-by-turn navigation. And users will also get a completely redesigned home screen with shortcuts for public transport. But even with all these great new features, Maps Go still only takes 1/10 of the space of Google Maps. These are just a few ways we're evolving Google Maps in India for India. And it's really gratifying to see that with these very focused efforts, India is now the fastest growing country for Google Maps. Thank you. But we want to do more. And one of the areas we're tackling next is addresses. The only way you can be found on Google Maps today is if you have an address. But we recognize that there are millions of people in India who do not have a formal address. And this is where plus codes can be really transformative. Plus codes are an easy way to represent geographical coordinates for any location on the map. And they're free, open source, and also work offline. So we've partnered with an NGO addressing the unaddressed, who together with the Kolkata Municipal Corporation are providing plus codes as virtual addresses to people in these underserved urban communities. And I'm really happy to share that through this initiative, we've assigned plus codes as addresses to 100,000 residents across 25,000 households in Kolkata. But let's hear from the residents themselves on what it means to them.
More than 1 billion people across the world live in underserved urban communities. If you don't have an address, you can't get mail, health benefits, social benefits delivered at your home. So we actually came up with a digital addressing system called Plus Codes.
We accurately identified the GPS coordinates of the dwellings, and we took those GPS coordinates and converted them into a code. I can put that code directly into Google Maps, press a button, and off we go. We have started work in Calcutta. The strategy is finish Calcutta and have it as an exemplar for anywhere else.
If we can do it, anyone can do it. Could you imagine everyone in the world can have an address on a Google map? It would be amazing.
Now we know that we are belonging to India and we are very important people.
So we hope to provide addresses to over 1 million residents in Kolkata over the next year. And we look forward to replicating this model to scale Plus Codes for emergency services, delivery operations, and other services across India. Because ultimately our goal is that everyone, regardless of who they are or where they live, can be found on Google Maps. Now, so far I've talked about our efforts and the impact we've had on the millions of Indians who use the Google Maps app on their phones. But our mission with Google Maps is to help everyone. And that includes Indian developers, startups, and enterprises. Google Maps platform, our enterprise solution, provides these businesses access to our rich, real-time knowledge of maps, places, and routes, so they can build great experiences for their customers. Google Maps platform powers more than 2 billion rides and deliveries every year in India, and this number is growing every year. So how many of you took an Ola to get here today? So did you know that Ola uses Google Maps platform to quickly match you with your driver and get you to your destination via the best route possible? And you probably use Swiggy for delivery from your favorite restaurant. Well, Swiggy uses our rich information about places to surface recommendations for restaurants nearby. And they also use our real-time traffic data to efficiently route drivers for pickup and delivery. And using Google Maps platform, Swiggy is able to share accurate ETAs and offer real-time tracking on their mobile app. So now when you order your gulab jamun, you always know where it's at on its way home to you. These are just a few examples of how Indian enterprises are using our maps insights in the ride-sharing and delivery industries. But tens of thousands of companies in real estate, telecom, and many more are using Google Maps platform to build disruptive businesses. So everywhere I turn, as I come back to India, I see examples of the types of innovation that I see in my new home in Silicon Valley, but with the ingenuity and resourcefulness that's truly Indian. It's amazing. Mapping for India in the past 10 years has been incredibly humbling. We've learned how to think differently, how to solve problems in new ways, and how to keep up with the dizzying growth here. Over the coming years, India will continue to be at the forefront of our efforts to make Google Maps more comprehensive, accurate, and useful to Indians. We'll continue to build for India, test in India, and learn from India. I'd like now to invite Caesar on stage to share how we're doing this with our NVU products. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Namaskar. I'm Caesar Sengupta, and I lead the Next Billion User and payments teams at Google. Over the last few years, we've talked to you about how we're committed to building products for the next billion users. And that in many cases, those products created for India and inspired by India have expanded globally. Today, I wanted to take that a step further and share with you how building for India enables us at Google to build better products for everyone around the world. Let me begin with access. We believe access is fundamental to get people online and help them make the most of the internet, which can have a transformative impact on people's lives. For us, access is providing reliable connectivity that is affordable, yet a high-quality experience for everyone, including those on entry-level smartphones. Let me start by talking about reliable connectivity. If you recall, in 2015, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and our CEO Sundar Pichai announced a project to provide high-speed, free public Wi-Fi in 400 railway stations across India. That project is what has become Google Station. Google Station's first Wi-Fi-enabled railway station, Mumbai Central, went live in January 2016. 2 years later, in partnership with RailTel, we have delivered on that initial promise of 400 stations, connecting millions of people to the internet every day. Thank you. We could not have asked for better partners than Indian Railways and RailTel in making this campaign of digital empowerment a reality. Thank you so much. This project that started at humble railway stations has gone on to the rest of the world, rest of India, and beyond India, across the world. And what motivated us to scale Google Station is what people like Naresh do when they get access. Let's hear from Naresh.
என்னுடைய பெயர் நரேஷ் பாபு. நான் கடந்த சில வருடங்களாக நீலகிரி மாவட்டத்தில் உதகையில் வசித்து வருகிறேன். பல கலைகளையும் நான் கற்றிருக்கிறேன். மார்ஷல் ஆர்ட்ஸ் என்ற தற்காப்பு கலையை. இதனால் பொதுவான எந்த ஒரு பணியை விட இந்த தற்காப்பு பயிற்சியாளர் பணியை நான் விரும்புகிறேன். இந்த மார்ஷல் ஆர்ட்ஸ் என்ற தற்காப்பு கலையை ஏன் இவ்வளோ முக்கியத்துவம் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, ஒவ்வொரு தனி மனிதனுக்கு தன்னோட உடலையும் உயிரையும் பாதுகாக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு கேடயமாகவும் கவசமாகவும் இது அமையுது. அதனால் இதை நான் பார்க்கிறேன். இந்த ரயில்வே ஸ்டேஷனுடைய இலவச வைஃபை வசதினால் எனக்கு பார்த்திங்கன்னா நிறைய விளம்பரம் கிடைக்குது. அதுபோல் என்னுடைய ட்ரைனிங் சென்டருடைய வீடியோஸ், ஃபோட்டோஸ், கான்டாக்ட்ஸ் கிடைக்குது, என்கொயரிஸ். அதே சமயத்தில் முக்கியமாக பெண்கள் நிறைய பெண்கள் கேர்ள்ஸ் ஜாயின் பண்ணி இந்த சிறிய விஷயமான என்னுடைய பயிற்சி பள்ளி மிக வளர்ச்சி அடையக்கூடிய அளவில் இன்னைக்கு இருக்குது.
Think of all the Nareshas in India and across the world who now have access to the internet because of Google Station. And that's why we've been working so hard to bring Google Station to many more places across India. Let's talk about Andhra Pradesh. Earlier this year, we announced that we've partnered with Andhra Pradesh State FiberNet Limited to bring Google Station to Andhra Pradesh. We expect to start rolling that out at the end of the year in cities like Vijayawada and Visakhapatnam, starting with healthcare centers and other public locations. When completed, we expect to reach 1 crore people in 12,000 villages, towns, and cities, some of them in areas that have never been connected to the internet before. Thank you all to our partners, the Indian government, the AP government, and Andhra Pradesh State FiberNet Limited, who are working together to make this possible. I'm very excited about this project, and we're looking forward to working with other states and cities in India to jointly bring reliable, fast, free connectivity via Google Station to many more Indians. Google Station is an example of a product that we started in India that we are now taking to the rest of the world. It is now in Mexico, Nigeria, Thailand, and Indonesia. And we're only just getting started. Now I want to touch on another aspect of access, quality experience on entry-level phones. Last year, we announced Android Go. Android Go Edition, a configuration of Android Oreo that has been optimized for smartphones with 1 GB of RAM. We've made sure that they'll be affordable and accessible for everyone, with prices ranging from 4,400 rupees to 5,700 rupees. And I'm happy to report that over 150 OEMs across the world now share our mission behind Android Go Edition and are launching 400 phones globally by the end of the year. That's 400 devices. And it all started in India in this room. We're proud of how our Indian and global OEM partners are working hard to make this happen. In India, we've already seen Android Go Edition devices from Micromax, Lava, Nokia, and Transsion. And today, we can add Samsung to that list. with the launch of their first Go Edition device, the Galaxy J2 Pro. We're very excited. Welcome, Samsung, to this mission. Earlier this month, we introduced the latest version of Android, Android Pie. We want every Indian using these devices to have a powerful and reliable smartphone experience. So we also released the Android Pie Go Edition. It has the latest security features, an additional 50 MB of free space, and faster boot time. And it is optimized with the latest features in the Go suite of apps, which you all saw earlier. Many of these apps were specially built for Android Go Edition and have features that were custom designed for our next billion users. It is amazing to see how these devices are revolutionizing access for so many people. In our first 4 months, we saw roughly 50% of all people who bought Go Edition devices upgrading directly from feature phones. This momentum for Android Go in India is pivotal to our goal to provide better smartphone experiences for everyone. Now, let's talk about another area where India is witnessing an amazing transformation: payments. We built a payment app for India called Tez, and we launched it right here in Delhi last September. When we decided to build a specially designed payment app for India, we took a bet on a relatively new payment network, Bheem UPI. It was very innovative, but it was new. It was one of the first in the world. It had been designed by the Indian government and NPCI. And I remember our worries the day before launch. Will this work? Will this scale? Will all this work that we put into this with NPCI and our partner banks actually be adopted by users? Users who are so used to using cash and debit cards. Today, that has been more successful than anyone predicted. Both Tez and with it, Bheem UPI have grown spectacularly. Bheem UPI had 17 million transactions in August 2017, the month before Tez launched on September 18th. Today, it's a very different story. Since launch of Tez, Bheem UPI transactions have grown 14x, and many other major players, domestic and international, have jumped onto it, further strengthening this new and powerful ecosystem. We're very proud of our partnership with NPCI and our partner banks, Axis, HDFC, ICICI, and the State Bank of India, to support the Indian government's mission to digitize India. And we're very eager to bring the same deep tech-driven innovations in areas like AI and ML to many more people in India. You know, Tez users aren't just from Delhi or Bangalore. There are people in over 3 lakh villages, towns, and cities across India using Tez. People are sending money home to their families, using it to pay bills. Kirana store owners are using it to pay their business expenses, as well as receive payments, obviously, from their customers. And people all around India are ordering food and recharging their mobile plans, all on Tez. In less than a year, we've had 55 million people download Tez, but we don't look at downloads as a useful metric. Instead, we track actual usage. And more than 22 million people and businesses are actively using Tez every month, making it one of India's most successful payment apps. Collectively, these people have made over 750 million transactions. With an annual run rate, wait for it, with an annual run rate of over $30 billion in transaction value. In less than a year since launch, that's practically from zero to over 200,000 crore rupees per year in transactions. And this is only accelerating. Thank you very much to NPCI, to our partner banks, to our merchants, local businesses, and more importantly, to all of you who are using Tez. We're encouraged by this, and we want to work even harder for you. So what's next? We want to focus on 3 things. First, inspire the world with India's approach to digital payments. Second, powering businesses, big and small, to help them grow. And third, accelerating financial inclusion in deep partnership with Indian banks. We have learned that when we build for India, we build for the world. And we believe that many of the innovations and features we've pioneered with Tez will work globally. And the world has certainly taken notice of India's digital payment success and our deep investments in India with Tez. Many governments are asking us to work with them to bring similar digital payments innovations to their countries. And to make this happen, we will be unifying all of Google's payments offerings globally. So I'm proud to announce that Tez will now be called Google Pay. We're very excited. All things you know and love about Tez will remain exactly the same. Your home screen still has all of your contacts. Your bills and mobile recharges are one tap away. You can pay a merchant online, offline, directly from your bank account. None of that will change. In fact, it's going to get even better. Over time, we'll bring many of these features to Google Pay users in other countries, just as we'll bring features we've launched elsewhere to India. And we're working hard to bring these capabilities to you across Google, so payments can be seamless in everything you do, online or offline. It's still very early days for payments in India, and we have many, many more tech-driven innovations to offer here. Let's now talk about a couple of these big new areas we're getting into with Google Pay. Let's start by talking about merchants. We want to pave the way for Indians to use Google Pay in more places, online, at branded retail stores, and yes, even at your nearest Kirana store or Chaiwala. For online merchants, you can already use Google Pay to transact in places like Goibibo, Fresh Menu, Nykaa, and in over 2,000 other online apps and sites. And in the coming weeks, we'll be adding more partners, including richer integrations with Redbus, BookMyShow, and Uber. For example, now, on Redbus, you can buy a ticket without ever having to leave the app. But we want to help businesses with more than just payments. We want to enable them to truly and simply engage with their customers. For example, users will be able to view receipts, access tickets, reservations, or payment reminders easily within the app. A number of merchants have already integrated these, and you will see these rich interactions roll out to many more over time. The second big category, big brands. We're working with large stores and payment technology providers like Pine Labs to allow you to pay in retail locations across India. By this Diwali, keeping fingers crossed, you should be able to use Google Pay at over 15,000 of your favorite retail stores across the country. These include chains like Big Bazaar, eZone, FBB, and hopefully we'll get this out to you just in time for your big holiday shopping. At Google, we believe in building for everyone. And a really important category are India's small merchants. We deeply care about them because they are the engines of the economy. They create employment, and India will not thrive unless our small shops and businesses thrive. And today, we're proud to note that there are over 1.2 million small businesses that are already using Tez. That's 12 lakh merchants using Tez, now Google Pay, to receive payments for their customers, pay their suppliers, or pay their employees. But we believe we can do much, much more for them. That's why we are building a dedicated merchant experience. This is a sneak peek. In addition to receiving digital payments using their phones, this will enable them to be discovered through Google Search and Maps, and to communicate with their customers through messages and offers. We've started testing these features with select merchants in Bangalore and Delhi, so look out for this at your nearest merchant over the next few months. In addition, we want to make it easy for small businesses to grow with Google and using Google Ads. And in that vein, we're happy to share that from today, businesses and merchants can pay for their ads using Bhim UPI right from within their Google Pay app. Thank you. We think you'll like it. This is in addition to being able to pay with many forms of payments, like bank transfers, cards, and soon on wallets like Paytm. Now, I'd like to give you a sneak peek into another effort to make money simple for you. We all have, at some point or another, needed to take out a loan for important expenses like university fees, home renovations, or weddings. But for the vast majority of people in India, it's hard to get financing. It's a lengthy process that involves complex paperwork. To address that, we're working to expand financial inclusion through Google Pay by making loans, the entire loans process, simpler, quicker, and more direct. This vision is shared by our partners at Federal Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and Kotak Mahindra Bank. That's why we're working with them to offer pre-approved instant loans to their customers within Google Pay. And I'm happy to announce that this is coming to eligible users in the next few weeks. Let me show you how it works. In the Google Pay app, you will now see that your bank has pre-approved you. Next, you decide how much you want to borrow and how quickly you want to repay it, so you're always in control. Finally, after reviewing the terms of the loan, the bank will deposit the money straight into your bank account instantly. No additional paperwork. From start to finish in a matter of seconds. Like I said, with Google Pay, we're not just aiming to make payments easy. We want to make all things money simple for you. So today, we shared 3 major updates with you on what Google is doing for payments in India. First, to bring similar payment innovations to other countries and vice versa, Tez is now called Google Pay. Second, we're greatly expanding places you can pay, online and offline, big and small, through digital payments. And third, we're starting to work with India's banks to accelerate financial inclusion in India. We're heavily invested in India's success. From Access, Google Station, to devices, Android Go, to payments, Google Pay, to directions and addresses for everyone with Google Maps, to making Indian languages come alive with Project Navlekha, Google Search and Assistant. We are committed to doing everything we can to propel India in its digital transformation. We have learned that when you make India's experience better, we end up improving our products for everyone around the world. The future of the internet is reflected right here in India. Truly, India inspires the world. Thank you so much.
That brings us to the end of this session, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. The food is served in the